One would think, with all of the problems facing the United States, gun violence, women's rights, civil rights, et cetera, that the new administration would be tackling these things. No, they're absolutely not. They're worried about their agents looking telegenic on camera, fascists that are telegenic. Play the clip.
Here at CNN this morning is that many of these officials conducting these raids have been told to basically dress for the cameras, right? Yeah. So here's the reporting. Multiple federal agents assisting U.S. immigration officials with raids directed by the Trump administration have been told to ensure their clothing clearly depicts their respective agency in case they're filmed by members of the media, sources tell CNN. While it's common safety practice for agents conducting arrests to wear insignia clearly identifying themselves as law enforcement, even agents on the perimeter of operations conducted across the nation have been specifically instructed by their leadership to wear raid jackets to generate possible media attention, sources said. So how do you understand how this is different from what had previously been going on under the Biden administration?
Right. So, I mean, perhaps the clearest cut case as to.
So I think, remember, there was that story when January 6th happened that Trump was in the dining room and somebody leaked that he was like, this is great. This is great. I just wish they looked better. They look kind of trashy. So the optics are very, very important to him. Not civil rights, not human rights, not the rule of law, but the optics of all of this. And I think that this administration is going to be one that is built on all false premises. I think he's going to inflate his support by using his new tech bros to game the algorithm with a bunch of bots. I think he's going to be, he always says, everybody says this and everybody knows this and everybody knows only I can do this. What are your thoughts?
I completely agree with you. One thing you said to me right before the inauguration, which rings so true, was all of these raids and the rounding up of immigrants were going to be a splashy TV show, the red meat to the base. And that proves to be true, not only in what's actually happening, but in actually what they're doing. Dress up so when you dehumanize someone and take them out in handcuffs, you look the part. And I hadn't even equated that to the January 6th when he was like, thought his supporters were trashy. It's so amazing. Like, we have a Secretary of Defense that is the former weekend host of Fox News, and he looks good on TV, and that's why Trump wanted him. He's wholly unqualified other than that. So this is a TV show that is going to be nothing more than, look how pretty we are. Look what we're doing, with absolutely no substance. I completely agree with your point.
And let's not forget that he had such a teeny tiny inauguration crowd because he knew that this crowd was probably going to be less than his first time around. So he moved it inside and blamed it on the weather and that he cared about people's safety because he knew the optics going into the second term, if he had an anemic crowd size, that was going to be problematic for him. So now let's shift into, he's all about the MAGA loyalty. Everybody's got to be loyal to MAGA. I've got to read to you this tweet. Kylie, pop it up. It says, those seeking jobs have been told they will have to prove their enthusiasm to enact Trump's agenda and have been asked when their moment of, quote, MAGA revelation occurred. So, I mean, I'm curious. And just follow me here, viewer. The MAGA revelation, was that when the president, that was former president, now he is president, attempted in an alpha male way to give a microphone a blowjob? Was that your MAGA revelation? I mean, are they serious? This is such cult language. It is insane.
Everything they do is cult-like. And it's so interesting to me. Never in my life have I heard on any level, and I'm private sector, but legal jobs. So as an attorney, you don't pledge to, I pledge to be loyal to my client. I will do the best for my client within the bounds of the law. This is, we don't give a shit if you're qualified. We don't give a shit if you uphold the Constitution. We don't care whether you're morally duplicitous. In fact, we like it. And we want you to tell us when you came on board for MAGA. And that to me is so dangerous.
Well, I think they want blind obedience. That's all Trump cares about. But it's important to note that every person in the administration, every American citizen could be like, oh my God, I'm MAGA. Donald Trump is amazing. He has great abs. He has a great tan. He has amazing hair. He's hot, etc. It still would not fix him. This is a person that is mentally ill and broken beyond the pale. But what is so fascinating is I get a crazy person in solitude. You can understand a mentally ill person by themselves. What amazes me are how obsequious all of his followers are. Kylie, put up the next tweet. Florida Republican Representative Anna Paulina Lena is filing legislation this week to add Trump's face to Mount Rushmore. Lena says, what are we waiting on? Donald Trump's face should be on Mount Rushmore. We've got the votes. Trump's going to sign it. Let's get it done to memorialize what this man's achieved for this country. I mean, what planet are they living on? And you know what? They'll probably do it because this is going to be the smoke and mirrors administration. He put his name on those checks, those COVID checks, because he knows branding. There are certain things that he's good at, and he knows branding. He will make sure. I'm surprised the Gulf of America isn't the Gulf of Trump. He's going to start renaming stuff. I guarantee you, hide and watch, bookmark this. I guarantee you his face will be on one of the bills. One of the money. I guarantee you it is coming.
Wow, I hadn't even thought about that. You know, when this whole MAGA movement started, I was like, do these people believe this bunch of horse shit? Do they know that he's just a liar and just trying to curry favor? This woman is so unhinged. I'm like, so you want to put him with Lincoln, George Washington, Trump? What has he done? What has he done? Just give me just a short list. It is so gross. And do you think she believes this? Because I used to think they were just trying to curry favor. They just wanted the spotlight on them that, oh, I pledge my allegiance to Trump. Or do you think she genuinely thinks that on the Mount Rushmore of presidents, Trump has done such an amazing job, he should be up there?
I'll tell you what I think. I think that we have a lot of default settings as human beings, especially people that are raised in this country. We have a certain way that we were programmed to think. And to find enlightenment takes, you have to exercise your brain intellectually. And these people are intellectually lazy. They have probably been indoctrinated by really insane religions from a very young age. They're damaged. They're broken. Their inner child is in really horrible shape. And Trump gives them permission at some point to be intellectually lazy and just to cave to all of their Neanderthal type things, like being racist and being white supremacist and favoring profit over human beings. And he gives them this easy way to do it. And then, they call liberals sheep and all of this. They're the ones that are like you see one group do it more and more and more. And now it's just like this huge, huge cult. Okay, next up, I'd like to leave you all with just the breathtaking stupidity of Lara Trump.
How no one wants to take any blame for anything out in California. Instead, they're blaming climate change. I would really love for someone out there to explain to me how climate change is the reason that the reservoirs were dry, that there's no water in the fire hydrants.
I mean, it's just unbelievable that she says that and that nobody at Fox says, oh God, she sounds really stupid. But to their audience, they think they have been so brainwashed to believe that climate change isn't real. And what's so insane is the oil and gas industry has known since the 70s, since the decade that you and I were born, that it contaminates and eats at the ozone and is causing climate change. These people don't understand the difference between climate and weather. She doesn't understand that droughts exacerbated the floods, the high winds exacerbated the floods, and that climate change leads to droughts, hurricanes, weather extremes, tornadoes. She doesn't understand these things that our children immediately understand and know. And it's just put on Fox News. And what's so amazing is you have all of these people that sit around and watch Fox News that genuinely are not going to benefit from this presidency. It's very clear that this is not just the 1%, this is the 0.01% presidency. Right. And all of these people sit around and watch it. And it's like they're getting them, it's like they're sitting there smoking cigarettes, bashing the tobacco companies. And this actually did happen in the 80s and 70s. People did this. They smoked cigarettes and they put out this campaign, cigarettes aren't bad for you, this is a myth, blah, blah. Climate change is you don't have a choice, or you just live on the earth. You're going to be impacted by it. And it's amazing because right now for the oil and gas industry, right now, it doesn't benefit them financially. So they have brainwashed and manipulated all of the people currently who are going to leave their children a horrible, horrible climate in which to live.
Well, and they also tell them that wind energy is bad and all the crap that he sells on that. But what amazes me about Lara Trump, I don't think for a minute she doesn't believe that, because I don't think she's very bright. So her saying that doesn't surprise me at all. But I mean, she puts her all into it. I mean, she feels it. She is just so worried. And I just want to say, you're running around just singing in a terrible voice. You have absolutely no knowledge whatsoever to do with weather, meteorology. You have no business being on there, but she's on there selling it. And because she's a pretty face, like you said, people are like, oh, climate change isn't real. It's not real.
The psychological soil has been set for that for a very, very long time. And they get these slogans, drill, baby, drill. And again, It takes me back to my other point. It just puts people in this Neanderthal, lazy, intellectual way. Oh, yeah, because climate change, as Al Gore called it, was an inconvenient truth. We're all going to be inconvenienced to try to fix it. So Trumpism allows people to be intellectually lazy and not find enlightenment and not get smarter, and doesn't facilitate conversations where people make a country better, like what our founders did. They sat around and said, how can we make this better? They were intellectuals. None of that. All of that dies with MAGA. So when you tell the average Fox News viewer sitting out in the suburbs or rural America sitting there watching that, they're like, yeah, and she's hot too. It's just this caveman bullshit.
Yeah, it's depressing when you think that 49% of America buys into this shit.
They sure do. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.